We are now joined here in the media center by Clint Bowyer, driver of the number 15 5-Hour Energy Toyota for Michael Waltrip Racing. And pretty darn good here at Sonoma Raceway. There's some interesting stats to note about Clint Bowyer. Since February of 2012, Clint here owns the best average finish of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series drivers at road courses, as well as the best average finish at Sonoma, which is third place, including a win here in 2012. And Michael Waltrip Racing owns the best average finish among organizations in 6 races on road courses since February of 2012. Big race for Toyota, big race for Michael Waltrip Racing, 5-Hour Energy. No pressure, right, Clint?
No, it's always pressure in this sport. Doesn't matter what race you go back to, even especially a race that you've had so much success at here lately. But just a fun weekend. I think that's probably the key to the success that we've had, with my group, with the 5-Hour Energy Toyota, is you just got to take this almost as a vacation. The crew guys get to go out. We don't have our damn buses. We're staying with everybody, amongst the people, having fun with everybody, really embracing what Sonoma's all about. And, oh, by the way, it's always an awesome race on Sunday as well. One of the best products that we showcase for our fans. Really fun, very, a short track of road courses is what I really look at this place. It tight, technical corners. You really got to be patient on this racetrack. The restarts are completely insane. Everything has to go right. Everybody sees that on these road courses, but you really do have the reins. You got to make the right decisions out there, and if you've got a car capable of winning, by all means, put it in position to win. If you don't go out there and overcharge corners, wheel hop, make a dumb mistake that takes your team out of contention for a good finish. Where we're at right now, we're in a position where, if you go out here and win, it locks us into the chase. The only thing I can do that I can't afford to do here is get wiped out, crash myself, run off the track, dive bomb somebody, and make a mistake to where it really takes you out of contention of a good finish here, because I think we're plenty capable, as we showed, getting a good finish, and that's where the focus is. Important a few hours here of practice, and looking forward to getting out there on this racetrack and banging some gears and having some fun.
Outstanding. We're going to start up front here with Tom, then go to Melinda, then to Alan, and then to Steve.
Hey, Clint. Tom Jensen, Fox Sports 1. What do you expect in qualifying? First road course qualifying, strategy going to play an important part?
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about, this track. You just got to take it as it comes. You don't know. I mean, nobody knows. It's who knows. It's going to be a difficult situation to make sure that you're, courteous to the other drivers, get your lap in, and then get out of the way. That's the single biggest thing that I think could potentially be a problem here is, trying to get back around to where you're getting off the racetrack and not messing somebody's lap up. Certainly would be a bummer to have that happen, because everybody knows, their tires, you only got a certain amount of tires here. Fall off is a big deal, and you've got to be able to get that lap in good. And if somebody pulls out in front of you, it's definitely going to, hurt your lap.
Good. Linda?
Melinda Adams, ESPN. How much do you look at this race as an opportunity for you and other drivers to win, and you're in the chase?
Well, it is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for a lot of drivers. That's why it's a dangerous race. For the chase and for where we're at in the points. I mean, you've got some guys that are back in the points, guys that you really know you're not going to be racing, for points into the championship, but they could certainly go out and win this race and put themselves into the championship chase. So dangerous race, it really is, and it's you've got to weigh out those options as you go, because that set of circumstances changes so many times throughout this race. Strategy and everything else. You just got to see where you're at, and take it as it comes, and try to make the best decisions you can, and have good speed in your race car, and by all means win this damn race. But cover your back, and make sure that you take care of business at the end too, and get a good finish no matter what.
Okay, we'll go to Alan next, then we'll go to Dustin in the back, then over to Steve, and then over to Jeff.
Alan Cavano, NASCAR.com. To that point, Clint, you're preaching patience, but do you expect others in your similar
No, they
position?
don't. That's the one thing that you can guarantee yourself is whoever's behind you at the end of the race will not be patient. So, that's one of the things, again, going back to all this, go out there and set your car up to not put yourself in those situations. Be good off a 10 to where they can't dive bomb you into 11. Be good down the hill, up on the top of the hill to where they can't dive bomb you getting into 7. Those are things that you got to be able to take care of business and set yourself up for. And if you're not good off those corners, you're going to be battling that, bear in your mirror all day long.
Dustin Long, MRN.com. If I'm not mistaken, I think you did the 2-stop strategy last year to win.
I didn't win.
2 years ago, a couple years ago.
I have no idea.
What is? Well, let me ask you this: you led a bunch of laps late.
I did know that.
What's it like to hold off people as the tires wear down?
Yeah.
Late in the race. Can you talk about the challenge of that?
Well, no more than we held off Kurt for so long. It was just one challenge after another every single lap, trying to stay out of the mirror, and you get away from him, then you'd slip up, and he'd be right back on you, and no more than you shook him off, the caution comes out, and now I remember Stewart and them took tires, and he was like 5th in line. I'm like, there's your winner. Somehow I'm going to have to keep him behind me, and it was I'll never forget it. It was hard, especially the wreck was in 10, and there was still debris. That's the crazy thing that's kind of fun about road courses. By the end of the race, there's carnage everywhere. There's oil on the track. There's stuff everywhere. Fenders. There's usually it's the same fenders every year after year, but nonetheless, there's definitely stuff that you have to dodge and go around. In 10, it was still oily, and I about slipped off the racetrack. I look in the mirror, and Tony's smiling, and barely got the finish at the end. But that's just what's cool about this place. You've really got to bob and weave, take it as it comes, and focus hard. Prepare yourself. Like I said, all those corners are important here. We all know the ones that are dangerous, and you've got to be able to make sure you get off the corner before that to set yourself up, so you don't have a situation every single lap.
Okay, we're going to go to Steve, and then to Jeff, and then over back on this side of the room to this fine gentleman right here.
Steve Richards, the PRN. How surprised are you that MWR has been able to pull this off 2 times in a row, and what are the chances of 3 in a row?
Well, I wasn't surprised, looking at last year. We were really, really fast. We just, again, going back to the circumstances, we had a car capable of winning. The way the cautions fell, it just, we kept being, we'd race up to the lead or second right there, hunting the leaders down, and the caution would come out, and I'd restart, 10th again and have to pass up through them and be patient, and, they're just so far ahead of you. So there's, I wasn't surprised that Martin won that race. He obviously had the same setup and same setup that won. The biggest thing is that setup, things evolve so much with this new rule package. That setup won't even qualify for today's race, or Sunday's race. The very setup that won the last 2 races, it just won't. It won't compete. So I do dig that about this sport. You've got to be able to keep up with the times, keep pushing forward, keep figuring out ways to keep forward driving the car, and then keep turning it. Those things don't play together. To be able to be good off of that car did not play very good. Oh yeah. Oh, there's a fire too? Well, thanks for letting me know. I thought you guys got busy on your phones there. Thought you were talking about me. But hell, I don't know. Just have fun, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jeff?
Whatever we were talking about. Yeah.
Jeff Clark from USA Today. You talked a lot about all the contact that happens out here. How much of that contact is accidental and how much is intentional with guys just dumping people?
Well, they're all accidental, until the end. And an accident is usually reoccurs, and maybe it's something that's drug on through the season, and then you get here and the guy gets loose underneath of him. I mean, early in a race, if people get into each other, it's because they were pushing hard, dive bombed them, got a wheel hop, and wrecked a bunch of people. I mean, it's never that's an accident, but the consequence for that accident at the end of the race is usually not an accident. That's very much so on purpose.
Do we have any questions
You usually see
upstairs?
the smoke rolling out of the race car before the actual impact at the end of the race, which is kind of fun to watch as long as you're not one of them, either or.
Any questions from upstairs?
No questions.
You guys are a bunch of duds up there.
Peter Manzo from Car and Driver magazine. Let me hold it, okay. You speak earlier of this track being a dangerous track. I've driven this place a number of times, and 11 scares the hell out of me. Please comment on turn 11, and if that doesn't give you the heebie-jeebies, which turns make you pay attention?
Well, they all do. Make no mistake, I wasn't saying that the track itself is dangerous, to the competitors. I was saying it was dangerous to the point system and the overall outcome of how that shapes up. I think the track is relatively safe. I mean, anytime you have, a long straightaway like that, get into such a tight hairpin corner, there's got to be a wall. There's got to be something that keeps you in bounds, and that wall doesn't. There's got a lot of tires down there. I remember when Tony got up on him, he was 10 foot in the air, and he come around there like, what? And who'd he piss off? And then you watch it. You can't wait to get back around. That's the craziest thing about all of us. You see that, and you're asking him immediately on the radio, what'd he do? What happened? And you get around and you finally see it on a big screen, and you're watching as you go by. He made a guy mad that day. Turn 11. That's what I was talking about. That's where he was.
Isn't 11 the one over here, or is that 10?
That's 10.
I'm thinking of 10, then. I'm sorry. I revised my question. How do you feel about 10?
Same tires apply over there. They'll launch you up in the air too. That's another place they go off. You can get yourself in trouble. I mean, it's to be fast here. You've got to be fast in turn 10. To be a contender, for a win here, you've got to be good off of 10 to get yourself in and make passes on one of two, corners that are legit passing corners there in 7. So very important corner, but it can also ruin your day.
There's no place to go.
There's no, well, there is. Yeah, it'll take you right into the tires. It's inevitable. You'll go right there.
We'll go to John, and then we'll finish up with Steve in the back.
John Householder, NASCAR Productions. This is a preview question for next week. I have here that you had a really strong run last year at Kentucky. You finished in 3rd place. What are you and your team doing to carry the momentum as you head into the race next week and maybe get a victory?
Somebody asked me about that earlier. I'll never forget Kentucky last year. I've never been so disgusted and dejected at a racetrack in my life. After practice, we were terrible. I mean, 2 seconds off the pace, couldn't drive it, loose. Hated my race car, hated it, and it hated me. It was trying to kill me. And I got out of it early. I was like, screw it, let's just quit while we're ahead and figure this thing out, put our heads together and come up with a good package for Sunday, and they did. Qualified terrible. We started, dropped the rag, and that thing took off like gangbusters and had good, speed and stability and grip, everything you need on a track like that. And I was like, where did this come from? So it's just, that's what this sport's all about. It's a humbling sport. You can be on top of your game and full of confidence, and then show up and you're terrible. And then you can, put your heads down and go to work and figure it out and get yourself a good finish. And Kentucky last year was a great example of that. So it's all about team. It's all about those guys around you. And, I got myself a good group.
I was wondering, this place can really bring out the, I guess McMurray called it the demon in guys. What about in your personal car? What irks you out on the highway? What's your pet peeve?
Oh, California in general. I need a helicopter. Everybody ought to have helicopters here. They need different forms of transportation. It's terrible. But it's pretty. Sure is pretty around here. Just can't get there to see it.
How about on a regular basis? On a daily basis?
Yeah, it's always that person that, like when you're getting on the highway, and the sign says, yield, merge onto the road. That means do not dead. It's not stop sign. Don't go. It doesn't say stop. Don't stop at the bottom and then expect to catch up and merge onto traffic. It's running 80 miles an hour because you can't. And then the other one is excuse me, ladies, the girl in the show-off lane running 80 and then 50 and then 80 and then 50, and you can't figure out how, it's like racing with people out here. You can't figure out how to power. You like, get out of the way, and it always never fails. You pull up beside them and they're texting. So yeah, that sucks. That's a bad one. You can always tell it too. He's all over the road. She's all over the road, and she's always in that lane because she doesn't want to be in traffic. And then they'll go stop right beside a semi, and for some reason want to ride right beside a semi for 5 miles, and then they'll blow its doors off and run 90 for about 5 minutes, and then they'll be right back behind you, and you've passed them 37 times on 77 from 40 to MWR. You're like, pull over, I've got to talk to you.
Don't text and drive, Clint Bowyer. Thanks for joining us today. Take care.